I forgot. Nate is an atheist. He's been a closeted atheist his entire life. Welcome to the first official episode of the podcast. This is the program opposing discussions, cases, allegations, streams, and trends. Wow. Now, I'm your wonderful, amazing, lovely host, Q. Call me Quincy if you need to. My co-star, your co-star, you don't know him, you'll learn to love him. Nathaniel, he is a actor, a writer, a bachelor with a bachelor's. Nathaniel, tell me, what does a bachelor with a bachelor's do? Just in his free time.
Try not to get fired from your 9 to 5.
Try not to get fired from your 9 to 5.
Yes, sir.
What did you get your bachelor's in again?
Business administration with a minor in communication.
Everyone I know does business administration. Why did you? What was the purpose? What was the point?
Business has always been a passion of mine. Q, you know what I'm saying? It was funny because when I was in college, my first year, I wrote this paper for my English professor, and she actually almost convinced me to go into English, but I stuck with business, because it's what I was familiar with. All my internships, was with business, and I was like, I'll just stick with it, And it's kind of broad enough to kind of get into any area. So, if I wanted to become a writer, photographer, if I wanted to start my own business or go into like business advisors, business is kind of like one of those things that covers all ground.
I guess it is. Yeah, it's a jack of all trades. It's the apex. It's the back door to everything, I suggest.
Exactly.
I didn't go to college because ew. It's
fair.
just mountains of debt. I went to trade school. I am EPA certified, university certified to work on any and all AC units, your refrigerators, your microwaves, all your good home appliances. Tell me, how much did you hate those 4 years?
5 years, actually.
5 years. I could not imagine. Mind you, he went to elementary school, I think, middle school, high school. That's 17 years of your life.
17 years of schooling.
Well, 12, because, you have to be 5 to get into school.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
sure.
12 years of your life. So, that with an additional 5 years, that's 17 years in total of school. Could never be me. My trade school was 9 months long.
9 months, really?
9 months, dude.
And you're certified to just do any AC?
Dude, any AC, bro. And AC is such a beautiful thing to do, bro. You can get in and out.
That's actually
Like 45. I did a job, 45 minutes, made $500.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel kind of stupid for going to college.
Well, I mean, I'm not telling you to feel stupid. I mean, you did what you wanted to do.
Because in
That's
those
fine.
5 years I went to college, I don't really think I really learned anything that I couldn't have learned online.
You know how to balance a checkbook?
Look.
Do you know how to do your taxes?
Yeah, I know how to do my taxes based off of.
But you don't know how to balance a checkbook.
I mean, who uses checkbook nowadays?
I mean, people still use it. I mean,
who uses a checkbook?
if you wanted to get a paper check, you would hope somebody knows how to balance your checkbook.
All I'm saying is, for the 5 years I was in school, the real benefit was just getting to meet people and professors.
Okay.
But like, as far as the education goes, I was introduced to some books I may have not known about, but like overall, I really got the degree because I started it, and I feel like it's always best to finish whatever you start.
Finish something you started. I agree with you.
And
Consistency is key. I agree.
Exactly. I could have dropped out anytime I wanted to drop out, but I was like, nah, I'm just about finished. Let me just, finish up. But looking back, honestly, they always say hindsight's 20/20. There's a lot of things I would have done differently, going back. I wouldn't even gone to Nevada State University. I probably would have went to like CSN.
Dang, I was hoping you didn't call them out. Like, now, they're a university now. Shout out to Nevada State. What's wrong with Nevada State?
Nothing's wrong with it. Nothing's wrong with any major university or non-major university. It's just I would have went to a what do you call it? What do you call those 2-year institutions where you get
Community college.
Community, yeah. I just went to community college because I could have got the same education in 2 years. I mean, yeah, it's not a bachelor's. I would have got an associate's, but I mean, honestly, those 5 years was like I said, I just wanted to finish what I started, so that's kind of where I was at with that. But looking back, I mean, I probably would have went to trade school. I didn't even think of that kind of stuff.
Trade school is, our vice principal, we went to I said vice principal. Yeah, vice principal. We went to the same high school. Our vice principal sat me down one day and said, so what are you going to do with your life? You're not going to college. I was like, what makes you think I'm not going to college? He looked at me and said, you're not going to college. Wow. And I was like, dang.
That's crazy.
He was like, I'm not trying to insult you. You're just not a traditional student, so you got to find something else to do. And that's when the day I was like, okay, I really got to find something to do. So my mother, shout out to her, we love you. She sat me down and was like, you gotta do something. So she was like either electrician, mechanic, or AC. And I looked up the revenue for each job. And I didn't really necessarily go to AC because it was There was so much money. I went because that's probably the least amount of time you need to own a business. You work under somebody for 3 years, a company for 3 years. You get your contractor's license, takes about a year and a half. Within 5 years, own your own place, pushing your own money. And it's like, there's so much money.
So you just get paid off of the jobs you do for people?
You get paid off the jobs you do, yes.
Wow.
And then, like, with me specifically, I worked with people. So, like, we worked on something called commissionable units. And, like, there was always jobs. So, like, certain jobs would be 10 commissionable units. Like, we make $32 per unit. So, like, if something was worth 10 CUs, that's $320 at the end of the day, right?
Wow.
And I love, I mean, but that's money you still have to split amongst like 2 other people. I love doing freelance stuff because, like you said, 45 minutes,
That's what I'm saying.
$500 all for you. Then you subtract the gas. Well, that's $40. Or at least here in Vegas, is $40. And then bada boom, bada bing, that's still $460 I made. Like a split, man.
See, I'm over here right now. I work at I work in this IT position at this law firm, right?
A law firm. Oh, so you work for the Snakes?
Yeah, you know? But I mean, there's a lot of changes happening at my my particular place. But I'm in IT, which is weird because everybody asks me, "But didn't you go to school for business?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's kind of that's a whole nother
you know
story."
that IT is a trade. You can
that's exactly what I'm kind of looking at, is maybe getting some certifications, but I'm kind of torn because I don't know if I want to stay in IT, if I want to focus on some other things. But what I was about to say was, I kind of have to rely on this like 9 to 5 thing, and which is cool. I mean, it's just stable, right? But you talking about you going and just getting like, at the end of the day, you can, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of like the vibe I feel like for this generation, weirdly enough. It's kind of like
instant gratification. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of like, doing one-offs and getting paid for that, instead of the people our generation, man, they don't like working these 9 to 5s. They hate it. Every video I see online, people are complaining about it.
But they're not necessarily wrong for hating it because like we've all known for like all of time, you trade your time for money. But that's not how things have to work at all.
I keep telling people, I'm trying to get a niche. I got a friend who does photography or videography.
He does it very well.
And what does he do? He gets paid to shoot people's weddings or whatever. And guess what? Boom, gets paid for that. Yeah. Me, I can't get paid unless I trade my time.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of sucks. Yeah.
But it was like one of the reasons I decided to stay with the degrees, because like if all else fails, I can still have something to fall back on, or at least that's what they tell me. So.
But see, like, and AC is not all it's cracked up to be, because honestly, dude, I mean, like, they've done a poll. If you look up statistics, people much rather be cold, like freezing, than hot, right? So, like, from like March to, at least here in Vegas, from like mid-March to like the end of September, dude, money hand over fist, man. Awesome. But around like that October to February, dude, dead in the water. And it's like when you really, because like there's that whole thing of like, YouTubers, they're like, oh, I made $10,000 this month. And it's like, did you make $10,000 this month? And then they don't make it for next month. It's like, no, you made it for the span of 2 months. You have to average stuff out.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, it's a lot of money between that spring and summer. But like if you start averaging out for the entire year, it's about normal amount. I mean, it's a little above average, sure.
Yeah.
But it's a normal amount.
But it makes sense. It makes sense.
So what do you do? What is This Is Us? This is our thing. What do you do in your free time? I mean, we just talked about a whole bunch of business. What does Nathaniel do?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, my life is centered around Christ. You know what I'm saying? That's it all day.
So you're a Christian IT.
Every day, you know what I'm saying?
You Christians.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm very Christian. I am very Christian as well, I promise.
Yeah, downtime, I really love writing, and I really love reading, and I really like debating, which is kind of why I actually joined this podcast. If you guys have seen me before, you may have seen like Vittles, you know what I'm saying?
Vittles was an amazing.
Go Google that.
I've never said it to the entire crew, and I'll probably never say it again, but it was actually an amazing thing that you guys developed there, for sake of the conversation. They came out before Keith Lee actually did.
We did.
Yo, you guys were supposed to be.
We were supposed.
You guys were supposed to be him. And it was extremely entertaining. Everyone I talked to loved you guys' show.
Yeah.
Sure, it wasn't a lot of subscribers, but you guys had a decent amount of views. Yeah. You guys had lightning in a bottle. It was 4 of you. You guys have all known each other. You all grew up in the same church. You guys all love food. Right? It was a good thing.
It had a lot of potential.
Yeah, a lot.
But a lot of things happen in the between.
Time, money, resources, all that good stuff. Yeah, I get that.
But no, I like debating. So when you mentioned this podcast about a year ago, I kept putting them off, but I was like, I'm gonna give him a chance. You know what I'm saying? So
Yo,
I mean, here we
you
are.
took pity on me. That's kind of crazy. You see that?
But persistency pays off, ladies and gentlemen. So if it goes well, we'll see how it goes. You know what I'm saying?
So if it doesn't go well, you'll just see me here just with an empty.
Yeah. I'm trying to get him to have like a rotation of people.
No, I have no problem with that being a rotation of guests. I just want a consistent face. Because one person podcasts. Like, I'm not saying they suck. They just have to be done in an intricate way. And I am not as a acquaintance of mine just said, I'm not a prepared person. I'm quite persistent.
Mm-hmm.
I would, and honestly, it's crazy. So I've never actually considered myself a persistent person ever.
Mm-hmm.
I've considered myself a patient person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll sit and wait for something to happen, sure, but I've never considered myself persistent.
Yeah.
But, like, that's been the term I've heard for literally the past year.
Yeah, you're persistent.
So I was like, maybe I am
That's
persistent.
a good thing.
I always but I always just associated that with patience.
Patience.
Because, like, if you can just wait for something to happen,
Yeah.
eventually it'll happen.
Yeah.
Things fall into order.
Yeah, but no, it's different between waiting and actively doing stuff while you wait, and that's what you're doing. And
so.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are, man. It took a second,
It did.
Here we are.
But the stars aligned right in your order.
Finally, bro. I mean, this has been a passion project of mine for a while, because like I know there's an audience for everything, and I know that that you specifically have a lot to say, and I think I'm entertaining enough. I think I'm tolerable. Yeah, I would say, I mean, if I had any passions of mine, it'd be. I hate reading. I'm dyslexic, and I have ADHD, severe ADHD.
When I hear that,
dude, no, because the mental capacity it takes for like some people to like read a foreign language or like to play an extreme game of chess. That's what it takes for me to read a sentence or like a few words.
What about like Audible? You just have it read.
Oh no, yeah, I do that all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't not like books. No,
okay.
I read the Bible. Well, I listen to the Bible. But reading, man, I swear, and it's like they say English is the hardest language to learn because like you can see hate HATE, but like the second you put a W on it, it's not a word. But you can see the number 8 spelled out EIGHT, but you put H on that, it's not hate, it's height. So it's like it's this weird stuff, and like that's the stuff that goes through my head. Like I have to try to figure that junk out.
Yeah, kind of
like a math equation, dude.
Exactly.
No, literally, and I hate it. Listening because like knowledge is key, and that's one thing. I mean, above all else, I just like to get to the facts. It doesn't matter how somebody feels.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how intentions behind it. Right and wrong, morality, and that's honestly. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna talk about this, but that's one thing I do want to talk to you about eventually. Is just legality versus morality. Ooh. I really want to dive deep. But that's a whole other long thing, and you guys are just now getting to know us, and I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, it's more like an introduction type
Definitely
thing,
more of an introduction thing. One thing that connects us together, besides our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, is movies. Nathaniel is a moviegoer, as am I.
Love a good movie.
Philosophy, he's also really good at that.
Love good philosophy.
I love myself a good philosophy.
I took a philosophy class, and I did so
I
well in it.
audited a philosophy class. I actually really enjoyed it. Yeah, at Nevada State.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, I went to because I was going.
So you didn't pay for the class.
I did not pay for the class. I just
sat
in the back of the class. Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
But I wasn't doing it as often. So like sometimes they'd be talking about one thing, and I'd be prepared to talk about that thing. Like the next time I went, and it's like completely different. And I'm like, of course, that's how college works. But a good movie. What would you say the best movie of 2023 was? We're just getting to a new year.
2023. You're right. We did just start a new year.
Just started a new year.
I don't know. 2023 didn't have a lot of fantastic films.
It did not.
I'm just trying to remember the whole catalog because there's so many movies that come out.
I'll give you a list. I'll give you just a list. I mean, not even say these were the top 10 movies. I'll just give you
to kind of refresh my
10 movies that came out that year, just to give you.
The only one I can think of off the top of my head that I just watched. Are we talking about like any like theater movies or like streaming movies?
That's a good point. I guess both. Because I mean, if you do that, then you have to do those small indie films, those passion projects, those student films,
like Leave the World Behind. Type
stuff.
Like
Leave the World Behind, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'll stick it to just theater just to make it a little easier.
I feel like my best theater. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just give you I mean, if you have one, go after it.
My best theater experience. I feel like. Well, hold on. Did Across the Spider-Verse come out last year, 23?
23, yes.
Earlier that year?
Yes.
Still, I mean, don't get me wrong, that was
fantastic.
That
was July, yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was fantastic, but
great movie.
I think my best theater experience was Mission Impossible,
Dead Reckoning.
Dead Reckoning.
Oh,
As far
that got
as,
mixed
like,
reviews.
I know, but like sitting in that theater and seeing the action take place, like I enjoyed myself a lot. Like I was sitting there like just wow. Now people talk about the plot, people talk about the writing and the acting. That's all great, but like in terms of just action alone, I was sitting there like, man, this is quality action. So
Quality action. Like you told me earlier that there's not many people do a train scene quality. I mean,
dude,
it's kind of
that
hard. It's
train scene
confined
was insane.
space, you know.
And if you can execute it well, is what makes it so great. Like I always mention the movie Train to Busan because the entire plot is about zombies on a train, and them trying to survive. Like anytime the movie is confined into a small space and you have to survive, like Spider-Man 2, boom.
You can't say the movie was confined. Like the entire movie didn't take place. That entire movie did not take place on a train. Like Bullet Train.
What?
You said Dead Reckoning. That entire movie didn't take place on a train.
No. But that particular scene though. That
you're
scene
talking
was
about
like
just the scene.
that scene was a highlight of the whole.
So
movie.
would you say that the Ultron, that train scene was considered a train scene? Because I would not consider that a train scene. Age of Ultron. Wanda Maximoff, her brother. And
no.
You wouldn't consider that a train scene?
No.
I mean, but that was.
I mean, it was a train, but it wasn't like executed very well. Like when I think of train scenes, I'm talking about like.
Tobey Maguire's.
If you mention like that's kind of like Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire, that was a train scene. Like that was like the highlight of the film. He literally was fighting.
He stopped the train.
He stopped the train. Like come on,
that's like 75 different memes. That
it is. That's what I'm saying. That just exactly.
I know you don't like this movie, but Bullet Train, I think that was executed very well. I
didn't really get into it. It was like that and Snowpiercer. They're on the train. I was like,
yeah, I couldn't really get into Snowpiercer as much. I mean, so I think it was still an excellent movie. I just couldn't get into it. If I had to, my best movie experience, which the same person who told me I was not prepared but persistent, he also told me he walked in to see this movie and it was so long that he literally walked out. Wow. Which I could not imagine paying for a ticket. And walking out.
Dude, I always
like I am going to ask him immediately after this the audacity of that man. Like, why would you just walk out of the?
I mean, unless he asked for a refund, but I can't imagine paying for something.
He didn't. I guarantee he didn't.
It's crazy. People who just throw away money like that is
he did. He just threw it away.
Hurts my heart. Hurts my
heart. But Oppenheimer was really good.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it, bro.
I was never interested in it.
2 hours and 56 minutes. No, that's the Batman. No, I think it is 2 hours and 56 minutes.
I heard it was pretty long.
It was like they could have used an intermission. I'm glad they didn't.
Was it a train scene?
No, there wasn't.
Oh,
I mean, were they on a train at one point? I don't think they were. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if someone said there was totally. If someone says in the comments there was totally a train scene, I would not be surprised. Yeah. But I don't remember there being a train scene. They had a great cast. They had I can't think of his name. Murphy. I can't think of his first name.
I need
CL.
Wait,
isn't it? Bro, the guy who played.
He's on Interstellar. The guy who played.
No, the guy who played Oppenheimer. Why can't I think of his first name?
Oh, I can't think of his name. I know the face, but I can't.
Yeah, that's so terrible. There's those dyslexia. I was right with the Murphy. You guys know what I'm talking about. I literally can't. Cillian. Can't even.
Cillian?
Is that how you say his name?
Cillian?
Yeah, Cillian Murphy. Oh, that sounds right. Cillian Murphy. That's literally his name. They had a great cast. Cillian Murphy. RDJ killed that. He said he hadn't worked with Christopher Nolan for real. And Christopher Nolan didn't allow snacks or seats on the set because snacks and seats make people
RDJ
lazy.
RDJ always eats snacks.
Yes, he does. That's why. Yeah, I loved that little Easter egg. He does that. No, they had a good cast. They had Florence Pugh did her thing as the commie. She was playing his girlfriend love interest who was a known communist at the time. Wow. It portrayed the historical movie quite well. Historical events quite well. I actually really enjoyed that movie. And I didn't that's not something we talked about much in high school with history, which I killed history in high school. That's not something much we talked about.
Yeah,
I've never I can't even think of his first name. Oppenheimer, it was not someone we just brought
Didn't even
up.
know he existed until the movie came
I
out.
wouldn't say I didn't know he existed. I mean, I've definitely heard his name in conversation before. I mean, he was the one who said, now I become death, destroyer of worlds. I've definitely heard that. I think I've seen it in a history book.
Never in my life.
That's insane.
History was cool, but I wasn't really interested in it.
Oh man, because it's not like math where it's multiple ways to get to one answer. History is just history.
I was always an English guy. I mean, obviously.
Because you're like I said, he's a writer and actor and all that good stuff. I kind of want to talk about that. Your acting abilities.
I don't really think I can act that well.
That's not what I've heard.
So many people tell me.
It's not what I've heard.
We do a lot of plays at our church, and I've been cast maybe 1 or 2 times.
One or two is crazy. You were literally the lead in the last 2 things you were in.
That's why I said 1 or 2.
You've been every old man for every scene that I could ever remember.
True.
Every
except for the
single
last two ones, except for the last two plays.
Were there old men in these last two plays?
No, Joseph was not old, and neither was
my point. So it's like because you were the lead, you couldn't be the old man.
Exactly.
But if you weren't the lead, you'd have been the old guy.
Yeah, I mean, I like putting on. I know this is gonna sound a little different.
You like being fake.
Yes, it's easy to not be me. It's for a small.
Is it hard to be you?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah. Life can be difficult. So for a small moment of time, portraying somebody else can be interesting and fun because no matter what happens, whether they like me or not, it's not me. It's just the character, you know? So I don't wear, my heart on my sleeve and people tell me I do good or bad. It's just, hey, you like the character. It's great.
Would you consider yourself a method actor?
Yes.
You would really? So you just
not
throw
like
yourself into
not like the extreme, like a Heath Ledger type thing.
Where was Joseph born? He played a guy named Joseph in a recent book.
I don't know. But that's what you mean by. I mean, like when I like.
Who was Joseph's dad?
No idea.
Yes, you do. That's how Bible works. Joseph of Arimathea,
But I don't know whose dad is. No, Arimathea is the place, the city.
No, like I thought you did. Oh, I'm such and such. Like, are you sure? Because
positive.
No, because we're John, Saint John, John of Zebedee. Isn't that that was his dad? It wasn't.
Oh, that was.
Yeah,
but Arimathea or Arimathea, that's a place.
Oh, crazy. And I'm a self-proclaimed.
But what I mean by method act, I mean like when rehearsal ends, when the camera stop rolling, I'm gonna go home and still
think about that guy. Yeah. I mean,
I still be that. Yeah, know what I'm saying?
You still be him.
Yeah,
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, because you gotta perfect it.
I 100% agree. Yeah.
As lead actor. What I've learned, especially for that play, is you set the tone for the rest of the cast.
Absolutely.
If you are garbage or if you don't really have that energy, the rest of the cast is going to mimic that. But if you come out strong, a lot of the time. But if you come out strong.
I was like, because supporting actors, they're
for sure. Yeah, but just on a general standpoint, if you come out with that energy and come out super strong, the other people are going to start looking at you, oh, okay. And then they're going to start following suit. So, yeah.
I can agree with that. I can completely. Because, I mean, hands down, all praise be to Nathaniel. And you did fine. I mean, like if you look up Joseph of Arimathea on YouTube, I mean, you're literally the thumbnail.
I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely one of my favorites.
Because you were the lead. Of course, it was your favorite. I mean, like my favorite play I've ever been in was Beauty and the Beast. You know why? Because I was the lead. What? Like, what are we talking about? Of course, you're so vain.
It's not vain. It's just it was fun. I was about to say something, but it would have made
it more vain.
Yeah,
exactly. Of course, I did so well. Why wouldn't I be I had all of the lines. I could not imagine someone saying in a movie anything. It's like, oh yeah, I love that movie I was in. I loved all of my one line. No,
but the Criminals of the Cross. I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't my favorite.
Of course not, because you weren't the main. You
weren't.
Right. You were the supporting character. So what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Of course, that your favorite's always. If you did another one and you thought you did better than last, that would be your new favorite. Yeah. That's how it works, man. Hey, it's okay. You just say I'm prideful and I'm proud. You know.
I'm not gonna say that, but. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no. I don't know who I was in that play. In your Joseph Arimathea.
You were the
counsel,
high priest, something like that.
It was just
Yeah. You kept making fun of me.
Oh yeah. No, I hated that. I hated those lines because it was hard to make them funny. I actually just hate any version. I hate is such a strong word. I despise any version of me before last year.
Despise is not better.
It is actually.
Okay.
Because to hate something, you had to have loved it once, and I wouldn't. It's like hate is such thing super strong. I think that's true. You disagree?
Well, I'm saying despise is just a synonym for hate, it's actually
Is it worse? Would you say it was worse or better?
It's worse.
You think despise is worse than hate?
It's a type of hate that's like extra hate, if that makes sense.
Okay, I loathe.
That's just equivalent. But go ahead. I digress.
Whoa,
I digress.
I know. I kind of want to digress.
I thought hate was like the least of the hates.
Interesting. That's really interesting. Wow, I'm kind of stunned. I loathe any version of me past this year because I recently lost over 30 pounds doing something called 75 hard.
Wow.
Yeah, and so just seeing how heavy I was, appreciate it. Thank you.
Wow, kudos, man. I'm trying to gain 30 pounds, and you're losing it. That's crazy.
I'm like weight or muscle?
Muscle,
yeah, definitely not weight. No, I could not, dude. Looking at any old picture of myself, it's like there's so much on my. There's so much of me just everywhere, and it's so uncomfortable. And I can't even say like it's like I don't blame anybody. Like any of my friends smoke. Cause like one, I was one eating. Second, like I have some like I guarantee you know what I'm talking about. But there is someone in my life who constantly told me how heavy I was, like all the time, and it's like
were they at one point heavier themselves?
No, he's been skinny his whole life. What are you talking about? He's a toothpick. Like he's never not been skinny, and I appreciate him. If he, I'm glad he calls me out on all my stuff. But it's just like it's never something you want to hear.
No, for sure.
Yeah, it's just it took a second.
That's a good friend.
Yo, extremely. No, yeah, it's like I could not imagine my life without like his intensity.
We kind of live in a society, not even just specifically on weight, but just generally, we kind of push unhealthy lifestyles and try to make it seem like it's okay.
Dude, being fat is beautiful. Like apparently, it's just such a great thing, But like, I want to live past 42. So
yeah, if we're talking about strictly on health, like people can argue all day long about other things, but health wise, there's a lot of things that just aren't healthy.
They're just simply aren't healthy.
Smoking, vaping, like let's not promote this stuff.
Dude, no, like I said, smoking and vaping, dude, that stuff literally kills you. Like I've never met a person who smoked and didn't have lung cancer.
I have had many arguments of people saying vaping is fine, it's just vape. I'm like, dude, no.
If anything, which I am not agreeing with this, but like technically speaking, smoking tobacco comes from the earth. Vaping is not organic. I'm not.
You see what's inside those things, man?
It's like
cotton balls and
just,
the coils.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
No, I would never support any of that. And it's just Nathaniel, I have to ask, with your Christian mind, I wouldn't say he's more Christian than me, but I wouldn't say I was more Christian than him.
I don't know. I wouldn't be more Christian, but okay.
I mean, you can definitely be holier. Remember what our pastor just said. Holier than, I'm going to quote him exactly. Holier than thou came straight from the pit. I just simply might be holier than thou. I love that. I'll say that forever now. But what do you, I won't say what do you think this podcast is going to go. What do you expect to, I don't want to say gain. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
What is the objective? Nope, not looking for that either. I have no idea what the word I'm looking for. How do you plan on influencing people in this podcast? That's like that. Influencing people with this podcast.
That's a good question. From a Christian's perspective, right?
Absolutely. I would hope you and I do it from a non-Christian's perspective.
I mean, some people will, though.
I forgot. Nate is an atheist. He's been a closeted atheist his entire life. I forgot about that.
That's crazy. That's actually, I had this book on my desk called
Atheist for Dummies?
No. Shut up. It's called I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, no, I got into real quick. Before you answer that question. So I was talking to my old English teacher a long time ago, and she was like, everyone has faith in something. You don't look at the chair before you sit down in it because you have faith that it'll catch you. Everyone has faith in something.
And support you.
Everyone has faith in something.
It's true. But no, how I plan on influencing people is trying my best to live what I preach, right? Obviously, nobody's perfect. But I do think that there should be a certain level of
accountability.
Not just accountability, but a certain level of pursuit. A lot of times people just feel like once you give your life to Christ, that's the end all be all, and he'll take care of everything. But the Christian walk is a walk for a reason. Or it's a race, as Paul was saying. Run this race, finish the course, type thing. So
yeah. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Yep.
Right. Obviously, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'll make mistakes along the way. But I don't ever want to get in the mindset of being content with my mistakes and saying, I got grace. I'll cover it. And how I plan on influence people here is like the walk backs up, or I should say the talk and the walk back up each other. You know? So, yeah, I mean, the things that I do, say, whatever, I want it to all align. You can be a Christian and still have podcasts, have fun, write books, go out and do stuff without compromising. And so I want when people see me to understand that, hey, he's not one who compromises. He's one who sticks to what he believes.
I really wish I'd went first because you just said everything I was going to say, just a little more sophisticated. I was just going to say, I love having that social pressure. When you tell somebody that you're one thing, right, and you start acting like the opposite of that character, it's like, yo, aren't you that thing? Like, I would love to just go out and be like, yo, I'm like super Christian no matter what. And if I ever started to go against that, it's right. Aren't you right. And I'm like, yes,
it needs to be a shock factor.
No, there absolutely needs to be because, like, I mean, and I hate to use this word, but I want to feel some sense, and this is gonna sound terrible. I want some sense of shame if I ever like start
drifting off.
Exactly. Sorry, if I start drifting off because I told you all that I was a Christian. I believe I've been one for quite a while. At least I think I have. I don't know. But so I like that social pressure. So I hope to influence that, like, consistency, man. My whole life,
Right.
everyone's been telling me, like, hey, man, you're consistent at nothing, and it's like, dang, I'm really trying, but I guess nobody cares. I just want to be consistent at something, man. And if I can influence everyone here, just be consistent.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
and I think that's the number one thing you got to be consistent with. I mean, in terms of importance, it's definitely the Christian walk. I mean, you can not be consistent with anything else in life, but if you get that right, you're set.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming and tuning in to the first official episode of the podcast. Once again, that acronym is the Program Opposing Discussions, Cases, Allegations, Streams, and Trends. Please come back, like, subscribe, follow, do all the good stuff, because we're gonna be coming back in your face all the time. I'm really excited about this.
It's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be interesting.
I'm excited, man. All right.